Welcome to episode 9 of the Panorama Van Build. In the last episode, I showed you how to put a 450 watt air conditioner mounted inside the window with the mount and the surround. And if you'd like to know more about that one, just click in the card above and take you back to episode 8. Yep, that's a generator running. So we will answer the question, can you run a window AC unit and a generator off an 800 watt, 1000 watt peak generator? This is the generator I picked. It is a 1000 watt generator, but it runs at 800. The peak is 1000. It has a lot of great features. I really like it. It's a 4-stroke, so you put engine oil in it. It has a half-gallon fuel tank, 6.5 hours at half load, and it has AC and DC output. Here are the specs. Something I like about this unit is even though it's made in China and it's sold by other manufacturers, this particular Sportsman one is sold through a company called Buffalo Corporation that is located in Missouri. So it's sold and serviced and technical support, which you get a lifetime of technical support. You're actually getting it from the company here in the United States. I also bought it through Amazon, and I paid considerably less than $200, so it's one of the cheapest ones out there. And what's funny is this same unit that's with other manufacturers, they're charging a good bit more money. Check on the link below down in Amazon and see what they're selling it for right now. It is a good value. The unit is quite small and quite compact. I was amazed how small it is. It's also very lightweight. The dry weight of it is right around 20 pounds, and it doesn't weigh much more with the gas and the oil in it. Here is the front control panel. You have the power switch here. You have your economy mode here where you can turn that on and it'll run a little slower. This is a green light that's showing that it's putting output. Here's an overload warning light and a low oil light. Here is the 12 volt DC out at 4 amps. There's your 110 volt plug. It comes with this cable here that you can plug in with this special plug right here into the front and then run these clips to your battery. Now this really isn't a battery charger, even though that's what this is set up for, because it doesn't regulate the voltage. It's going to throw out the voltage. It's not going to keep track of how much charge is on the battery. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to run that into something very simple, which is a solar battery charger, which is used to taking anywhere from 0 volts to well over, I think, 30 on this one. So it's going to be able to control the charge and put out just what we need to charge the battery. So that's the plan, to be able to run the air conditioner and the battery charger and not waste that energy, especially when it's in between cycling the compressor. Another great feature is that it has a pure sine wave inverter inside of it, so this is should work great with your electronics. Here is our test bed set up for today. So over here we have the generator. It's set up here, it's plugged in. I have the 12 volt plug in here and the 110 here. Runs back over here. The 12 volt is running into the solar charger here, which is then running into Ghost, my Prius conversion. Love this car. She's agreed to be the donor today. This is my secondary battery, which I have thrown the disconnect, so it's standalone right now, and it is powering all the things I've added, which are lights and the security system and the amp meter here. Right now we're drawing 1.5 amps, drawing the battery down. Fantastic conversion, had the Dometic in here. Click on the link above or at the end or below and you can learn more about this conversion. Cheapest way you're ever going to travel. So starting the generator is a pretty simple affair. One thing you have to remember is to open the vent. So if you turn it all the way one way and all the way the other, it'll close. You kind of turn it halfway so that it pops open the vent. There's an on-off fuel switch here. Have to make sure that's on. Make sure our power switch is on. Got it on the choke. All right, let's start her up. Give it a pull. You can hear her up close, running nice and smooth. Now that's on economy mode. We're going to start there. Going to show you some things. So let's plug in our 12 volt charging. All right, so with the generator running on economy, it's charging at 2.3 amps. So let's bump it up to full power. Take economy mode off. That bumps her up a little bit. All right, now it's putting out about 3.7 amps. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to disconnect the 12 volt charger and we'll start testing the air conditioner. I've got my watt meter hooked up to the air conditioner. The generator is running on standard speed, and I'm going to very quickly put it on high cool, high fan, and we're going to see what the watts kick up to on the startup. About 523 kicked up. And then it settles down nicely under 300, and over time it'll work its way up to around 350, sometimes close to 400, but it runs very well at under 400 watts. One thing that I did try was running it on economy. So let's go over here and switch it down to economy mode. That knocks the sound down quite a bit. As you can see, the air conditioner is still running. Now, I ran this for about an hour this way, and it worked well, cycling on and off, but one time in that hour, the generator did decide it didn't like how things were going, and it turned off the power and then shut itself off. Nice to know it has a good safety feature. So what I did is I ran it on the regular speed on the generator, and that ran fine. I ran that for I think 3 hours, absolutely no problem kicking on and off. So now let's add back in the 12 volts. Let's put it back on high speed. And as you can see, plugging that in really didn't affect the speed. So let's see how much air conditioner is running. We're charging at about 4 amps, a little over 4, just what we're wanting. So that's perfect. Check our voltage again. Running at 11.9 volts, 12 volts. All right, let's check our watts. Air conditioner's pulling down 320 watts. So this whole setup works really well. Now, I've got something else I want to try. They make a startup capacitor, because the reason when it did kick off that one time on the economy mode was when the compressor started up. So what my plan is I'm going to get a capacitor coming, and I'm going to install it in here, and it's called a hard start capacitor, but it's kind of the name doesn't really fit, because what it does is it helps take the hit off the startup and stores energy of the capacitor so that the startup jolt is a lot less. And my theory is when I have that installed, I'll be able to run this setup on economy mode. The great thing is about testing, I learned a lot of new things about what works and what doesn't work. So with this charge controller, you'll see that it'll start building up and building up. But once it goes over 4 amps, it seems to be getting greedy and wants to take more. And when it gets too high, it's throwing the 12 volt breaker on the unit and it's giving up. So this tells me plan B for charging the battery. So this is plan B. I'm just going to try a regular small charger. This is a 3 amp smart charger. It is rated for gel, AGM, and sealed lead acid. And so it is, I've just got it plugged into the house power right now, and it's drawing 43 watts. And I've got it hooked up to the battery right now, charging it. I like this one. It tells the percentage of charging. Very simple. So if this all goes well, I can always go up with a bigger charger. So now I've got the generator on, running at standard speed with just the battery charger, using 44 watts. So I'm going to kick the air conditioner back on quickly, and let's see if we can see what it will jump up to. 523. So we're only drawing 360, right now around 360 watts. So plenty enough power to run the air conditioner and the charger. But where I'm wanting to go with this is to run this whole thing, including the charger, on economy mode. So now what I want to do is take it up a notch, and let's go talk about this guy right here. This is the Supco Super Boost Relay and Hard Start Capacitor SPP6. So what this is going to do is it's going to increase our compressor torque by 500% when it kicks on. It is designed for exactly 4 these units. It can be used on all single phase 90 volts through 277 volt air conditioners from 4,000 to 120,000 BTU. So there's already a capacitor in there. We're just going to piggyback off the existing one, and we're going to increase the capacitance by a lot. So you'll need to remove a few screws. I'm going to take this screw out here. I don't think you're going to have any along the side. These are just from previous projects. There's 6 screws on the back, but you only need to remove 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. You can leave the bottom ones in. And then this screw on the other side. And also remove the 2 on the top. The next step is to pull off the two knobs. Then next, reach right under here, give this a tug, and the front pops off. Then we're just going to lift the top off. Alright, so this is what you'll see on the side, and I hope I don't have to tell you, make sure it's unplugged. So the next thing we're going to do is take off these two screws here. Once you pop off the metal plate and the plastic plate, this is what you'll see is the other capacitor. Where you need to attach it is where it says Herm and then Common. This is for the fan, you don't want to do that one. So normally there is an extra flange over here that you can tack off of, because the fittings that you get, it doesn't matter which one goes on which. But on one you have one without an extra connector and one you do. So normally this would have piggybacked off of one of these and there would have been an extra connection here. Such as it is, I'm going to put this one on this one and attach the flange to that, and then I'm just going to have to splice into one of these. Alright, so here I've taken off the Herm wire, attached the Herm wire to the extension, and then just plug this one back into Herm. And there you can see the doubled up plug. So next step is I think I'll take this blue one out and splice into that for the last wire. Hopefully you'll have an extra plug in there, an extra flange where you can just pop it on and then you don't have to do anything like that. Now on this side I drilled a hole right here and a hole right here. It doesn't go all the way through to the motor, it just goes through this first layer of plastic so that I can have somewhere to zip tie in the capacitor. I also had to extend the wires so I could get around over there. So zip tied firmly in place on the fan shroud, keep it away from the fan, keep it away from heat, and keeping it off from metal so we don't get any rattles and shakes and squeaks. And I fish the wires through the chaseway with the rest of the wires right down here. And then I'm going to take the wires through here up and connect them up here to the capacitor. So here's the final wiring. This wire goes off to the capacitor, piggybacks into that one, and then I ended up splicing into the brown line because this went to the fan. The blue one is a common that comes off the compressor, so I thought it'd be a little better to put it here. So now let's button it back up. Alright, so I've turned the air conditioner off, completely off, so let's try the hard start again. Oh, I definitely like the sound better on the generator. I see that the watts are still jumping up. Alright, the next thing I want to try is see if it can do a hard start on the economy mode. Alright, let's switch it down. And we'll do the same test again. Oh, nice. Oh, the overload light was flashing over there, so that was a no-go. So what I've done is I've mounted the air conditioner unit with the surround and the rainfly, and there is one more test I think that might be successful in that just putting it on the fan first, pausing, and then going into cool. So right now running on standard speed. Let's take it down to economy. So now we're in economy mode, and I'm going to open the door so we can see, hopefully see everything, including an overload light. Alright, so the wire comes under here, up and over into this tangle, and here's our thing. So I'm going to start it with just high fan and listen to it. So no problem. Running about 60 watts. I have figured out one flaw in our test is this rate, the sample rate on this is just too low. So the numbers, the startup numbers are just too hard to work with. What I'm going with is the sound of the generator. But the whole exercise was to find out, number one, on standard speed, could you run the generator and the air conditioner and a battery charger? No problems. The answer is yes. Next question is, can you run it with it on low all the time? So let's go ahead and put it on high cool. Oh, it was a little slow to ramp up, but there was no fault light and there was no overload. So the next test is just to close up the place and let it run for about an hour and just see if it can handle it on the economy mode. So 350 watts. So upcoming videos, here's a little sneak peek at how the cabinets are coming along. They're not quite finished, but they are beautiful. I love how they turned out. Here's a couple of shots of them. And then here's a look at the wood that I used. I found a really inexpensive wood with a beautiful wood grain. It turned out great. Also coming up, I'm working on the home theater. This is a little teeny 720p projector, a great little speaker, and it's going to be wireless with a Amazon Fire Stick TV in it. It's going to be hung up, and here's part of the screen, hopefully 45-50 inches. So I'm working on that. Also coming up will be the wiring, the electrical, the heating, so lots more to come. So here's some parts of the box. It's going to be gloss black with a little bit of white trim. Has a removable top and bottom. I don't have all the parts together to show you how it's going to work, but I have high hopes for this. So this video is running a little long, so I'm going to have to put the baffle box into the next video and get it out for you. But let's go ahead and see how our test finished up. So I have great news. It's been running for 59 minutes. So what's great about this is I'll be able to run it on economy mode. It'll be running quieter and it'll be much more efficient. I am so pleased with the purchase of this generator. What a great thing for the Panorama Van Build. It's going to supply energy and air conditioning and do it efficiently. And the next video, we're going to do it very quietly. So I'll see you in the next video. Be sure to leave me a comment. I appreciate you watching.